class, first of all? Anybody?
I don't remember last week's.
It's being recorded, you can watch it. It's a refresher. Okay, so today, and part of Thursday as well too, we're going to be talking about tagging. And I introduced the concept briefly, and it's still on the whiteboard here, so we can use this as an example. But we're going to take all our time today to talk about tagging and give you different examples of what it is to create a tagging panel, the different tools. Damn, I forgot my iPad. It's over there. But I just wanted to demo something on the iPad. Just run to my desk and get it. On tagging. And today, the main example we're going to be using, because I have a lot of footage, and Janice will be happy, is we'll be using goal balls as an example. So we'll be talking about tagging, the different aspects of tagging, what it is. We're going to be going through a lot of the features within Dartfish. So in the Dartfish module, tagging is listed up there beside the analyzer module. But as a refresher to the concept of tagging, see this, but anyway, so I'll show you guys this. We talked about tagging is basically being able to break down a video, and it's usually used to break down a video that is of longer duration, so hence the value of tagging has laid more in coaches that are using video to break down gameplay or competition video. Now, there's no team sport type athletes, but there's some coaches in here that are going to get value from tagging. I'm sure all of you, once you learn what it is, might say, hey, that's going to work for me to break down this competition video or something like that. So examples like in squash, if you have a competition and you want to break down that video into its finer points to be able to review quickly with your athletes, then that's the concept of tagging. So, and basically what it is there's two types of things that you tag. There's events in a gameplay situation, and then there's categorizing those events. So if I use the example of hockey, for example. An event in hockey or a series of events might be a coach is interested in looking at shots, might be interested in looking at hits, might be interested in looking at breakouts, might be interested in looking at power plays or penalty kills. Those are events in the game they might be interested in looking at. Typically, a coach would watch a video and watch it on a media player of some sort, and if they don't have that broken down or tagged or using software to do that, then it would be a very cumbersome process for them to watch that whole video, pause it, rewind it, go on to the next event, and so on and so forth. So the time that a coach would take to break down a game using software like Dartfish, then you could ask the software, hey, pick out all these red points for me. These red points are services for squash, for example. So Dartfish would be able to go and create a list and go, bang, here's all your services, and then you could quickly review those particular events based on how you've defined it. Okay, so there are a lot of ways of customizing what's called your tagging panel or your system of actually breaking down the game, and then we're going to get into detail about how to do that. So there's the tags or the events, but this particular tag here in this situation, say this is hockey. Let's get back to hockey. So these red things are shots on net. Okay. So these shots on net, can people give me descriptors of how we can describe these shots on net?
Slap shot or shot.
Okay, good. So type of shot. Never had that before, but yeah, type of shot.
On goal.
Anyways?
On goal.
On goal or miss the net or goal. A shot could be a goal, a shot could be a save. So you might want to tag shots that are actually miss the net as well too, right? So those are different ways of describing. Any other ways of describing shots? Huh?
Tips.
Tips?
Tip-ins.
Tip-ins, okay.
Like
So
deflections.
you're describing a shot by a little more detail about a tip-in. How about a player? How about the player number who actually took the shot, right? So you might want to break it down to that. So this particular shot could be miss the net by player 15, and a slap shot or something like that. So this one would be defined as that specifically. And then this one might be defined by player 16, a goal, and a wrist shot. So then once you have all of these events, you can ask software like Dartfish to say, I would like all the shots, please. And it brings up all the shots, all the red points. You can get more specific than that. You can say, hey, can I get all the shots by number 15? And it will only bring up to 3 or 4 shots by number 15. And more specifically, can you give me all the shots by number 15 that were only slap shots? And then 1 shot comes up. So it takes you to that video very quickly to be able to do reviews of those videos. And additionally, if you've tagged and analyzed multiple games, you can bring them all into the Dartfish, the tray in Dartfish, and it will accumulate all of the tags from all the games. So if you want to see for a tournament, if you've done tagging, all the shots by number 15, then it will go through all the 5, 6 games that you've tagged and bring up all the shots by that particular individual and jump to the different videos for watching those highlights. So it's a very powerful tool for breaking down game, reviewing video with athletes after the fact, so you're not spending a lot of time, so you're being very specific. Today we sucked on our breakouts or something like that. We want to look at breakouts. And so I'm going to bring up all the breakouts and all the successful ones and non-successful ones, and we're going to take a look at what that is. So you've changed a 2-3 hour session with your athletes and your team to a 15-minute session, just looking at something very specific. So that's in essence tagging. That's what tagging is. And then we'll get into some details about even how we can use this information to share the content even on Dartfish TV. So, okay, so I'm going to click on the tagging module here. Okay. So this is the tagging module. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the features of the tagging module. Okay, so when you click on tagging, up in the top corner here, we still have our folders view where you can find our videos. And these are the videos that we actually have in our folders. Then we have our tray, very similar to the analyzer module. And down along the bottom, and this is all customizable. You can drag and move these different windows anywhere within the view, so it's all customizable within your desktop, your workspace here. So we have some information about tables that will be generated, and this is where our tags are going to show up. I'll show you how that works. And this is our tagging panel. This is what we use to actually do the analysis of the tagging. So, has anybody ever done any kind of tagging? Sort of, kind of? No? Yeah?
Can you change that tagging panel?
Yes.
Like you can put anything on that?
Anything you want to there. So I'll show you the customizable tagging panels. So right now we have it set up for the goal ball, but I'll show you what you can do. As a matter of fact, tagging panels are readily available online. If you Google search tagging panels for basketball or soccer, people are posting these online. They're small files. On Dartfish's website as well too, there's a series of tagging panels. On your Dartfish software, there are some tagging panels as well too. So if I were to go to select new, it actually takes me, that's what you guys probably see when you load in if you've never used a tagging module. There are some tagging panels there. There's 6 of them. So if I click on, let's click on the hockey one for example. When we click on hockey tagging panel, you'll see that somebody's created this pretty simple tagging panel that has what's called action set pieces and outcomes, okay? So this coach was interested in shots and face-offs and penalties. Those are his 3 tags, or her 3 tags. And then there's outcomes. So they're defining what is a shot and how is a shot, goal, save, miss the net. That's how they define it. So these are the categories of those tags. And then underneath this face-off outcome, there's 1 lost. So it's a pretty simple tag. And they have a game score tally that you can keep track of the score, and then they have a bunch of other buttons that they tag, which are power plays or penalty kills, and that's basically it. So those are available in the file new section, so a few different things. Now, when I talk to a hockey coach, they might be interested in using Dartfish using hockey tagging. You can actually use this hockey tagging panel as your initial, and if you click on edit, it will open up the tagging panel window now, which you can edit now and customize your tagging panel to however you want to customize it. Maybe we'll use this example and they'll show you how to customize some aspects of this tagging panel. And then you would be able to resave that tagging panel based on how you've customized it, and then post it online or email it to somebody or another hockey coach, and they could use it if they're using Dartfish as their tagging panel. Okay. So again, what I did was in Dartfish, this is your tagging panel window. And we'll start out by talking about, because we just started talking with the concept of tagging and what the panel is, we will click on edit and it will bring up that particular tagging panel for editing, okay? So there are, on the top right corner, and I'll talk descriptively rather than pointing because it's not on me right now, but in the top right corner, we have our toolbox which we can create, or on the left side, we have our toolbox that we can create our tagging panel. There are only two types of events. These are tags. Dartfish calls them events. We'll call them tags, so we'll interchangeably use those two words today. So there's an event and a continuous event. And I think I mentioned this to you briefly last class. But if an event is defined as a known on-off period. Okay. If I click on, I'm going to click on, and you're going to notice when I click on one of these red buttons here, like shop, then there's information that comes up here on this side. Okay. This is the customization of how the shop button is defined. Okay. The shop button is defined by a pre-roll of 5 seconds and a duration of 6 seconds. What that means is as a coach is watching that game, sees a shot on net, the shot is taken, they press the shot button, and how that's defined is it actually goes back 5 seconds in time. Because the coach wants to see from when that shot is taken, what happens 5 seconds before. That's how that's defined. And then from when that button's taken, or when that button's pressed, it only goes forward 1 second in time. So the total duration of that thing is 6 seconds. Okay? That's how it's defined. Does that make sense? So the coach is defined. I'm interested in looking at 5 seconds behind and 6 seconds forward. If another coach comes in and says, "Now I want to know 15 seconds behind," well, you just click on here and you type in 15 seconds, and now you have defined that as 15 seconds with a total duration of 6 seconds. Does that make sense? No. Why not?
Doesn't add up.
Right. So you're doing a 15-second pre-roll, but your duration is less than your pre-roll, so it doesn't make sense. So we could make this. What if I'm a coach and says, "Yeah, I want a 15-second pre-roll, but I want 3 seconds afterwards." What would the duration be? 18 seconds. Believe it or not, this is a concept that some people screw up because the duration, we talk about pre-roll and post-roll, but so that would have a pre-roll of 15 seconds and a post-roll of 3 seconds for a total duration of 18 seconds. Okay? So you can customize it however you want to. Now when I talk to coaches when they're customizing their tagging panels, I want to make sure that they're not getting too much in their tag. Because a coach a lot of times comes to me and says, "Oh, I'm interested in 45 seconds before what happens." 45 seconds is a long duration. Right? So when they see that, I mean, they see a whole, half a period if they have 45 seconds before. So I really try and make them focus in what is really important, how much time, and 5 seconds is quite a long time if you think of that before a shot. So, and if you make these durations and pre-rolls too long, then you're basically just watching the whole game when you're actually doing a review of the video. So this coach is probably pretty good when he created his duration and pre-roll to say 5 and 6. That's a pretty good indication of what I would do for hockey. Maybe you make that pre-roll a little bit less, so maybe I might make it 4 seconds or 3 seconds. Any questions? That's fine. Okay, so this button here, this shot button that we're on, again is customizable. So here is just a label, so I can call it Pro Shot, right? So when I change Pro Shot, and the button name changes to Pro Shot. So you are labeling this button. This is a viewable button that you're going to be using for tagging, right? Question?
Is this all done in analyzer mode?
No, it's done in the tagging module.
Or is it a separate module?
Yeah, this is in the tagging module. So if I actually, I'm just going to X this out, and if I exit out, it's saying you've changed your tagging panel, do you want to save it? Right? So I haven't really made any changes to it. So if I actually hit save, it is going to save the tagging panel as the changes that I made. But here's the tagging module up here at the top, right? So right beside the analyzer module. So go back into edit mode, okay? So I'm clicking back on this shot button, and you can define the name of the button. This is the visible name of the button, this is the appearance. And then there's something called an event here that has a category, and that's going to become important, right? So the category right now is called set actions. That is what's going to appear as a category in the table view down here, okay? So if I add a different button and add a different category, then from these drop-down menus, and this is going to become clear once we do some tagging, is you're going to see some statistics on here, okay? And you're going to define that based on the categories that you create. So getting back into the edit mode. So you have shot, okay? And the shot is an event. And now I'll talk about quickly what a continuous event is, okay? First of all, an event is when you click the button, it actually 5 seconds before, 1 second after. Next shot, 5 seconds before, so it creates a bunch of shot. I'll call them shot 1, shot 2, shot 3, all the way down, okay? That's the labels that I'm given. Face-off is also has pre-roll and duration. So this coach has defined a face-off 2 seconds before the puck is dropped, maybe watching the setup. And then how many seconds after? 4 seconds after, for a total duration of 6 seconds. So they define that in that way. A penalty is an offense that you see a penalty occurring. They've defined this as 5 second duration with this 3 second pre-roll, okay? All of these 3 buttons have the category of set action. Okay? And we'll talk about how the different categories change things in a bit. So these are events. Special situations here, if I click on one of these, what's the first thing you actually see in the difference here? Is the offset start and the offset end are set to 0 seconds. This is by nature defined as a continuous event. So you notice up there in the top right left corner, you have event button and continuous event. Okay? A power play or a penalty kill, you know when it starts, but you don't know when that event stops. Right? A goal could be scored, guy could get out of the box and end up a power play or end up penalty, whatever it may be. So you, as a coach, click that button when it starts, and then you click that button to stop that event. That's called a continuous event. And if I was actually doing some tagging, I just want to show you. If a video is running there and I see a shot, okay? Yeah, okay. You're pretty smart. Okay, so I'm just going to bring a goal ball video in here. So this is a non-tagged goal ball. Everybody familiar with the sport of goal ball? Janice? Really? You guys know what it is?
Yeah.
Blind sport, 3 athletes aside. A sport for the visually impaired, not the blind. So as I'm watching this video and doing some tags, I'm just going to randomly put some tags in here. So you're going to see a shot here. There's a face-off, there's a shot, there's a shot, there's a shot, there's a face-off. So as the video is running, it would actually give me the position and duration of that video, but I'll show you, I just wanted to do some tags, and it's populating this panel right now with tags that I've done. There's no need to save anything. Dartfish automatically is putting this information in a file that's parallel to this video file called the meta file. So you don't have to do file save as you're doing the tags, it's actually populating the meta file. Okay. But the one thing I wanted to demonstrate now is the continuous tag. So say there's a power play. This is a hockey game. So say there's a power play. I click on this button. Well, you notice what happens to this button right now is it's actually red. So it's collecting information. So actually let me just turn it. As I press off of it, it turns off and it actually gives you a tag there. But what happens is, let me show you. So I'm playing the video right now. Actually, let's do this. Sorry. I'll stop it and I'm going to delete all my tags. Yeah, I want to delete all of them, so they're all gone now. So the game's playing right now. So this game's going, and I'm just going to do shots, for example. This shot in hockey, but I'll bring up the tag there. So there's a shot. There's Canada going to take a shot now. Just have a couple tags and stuff like that. So say I have some face-offs in here, and shots and face-offs. Now, if I have a power play or penalty kill, I click on this button, and it remains the duration of this right now. These are all durations 6 seconds, because this is how I define my tags, right, in the hockey game. And the game's going on right now. This says 0 seconds duration, but it's a power play, power play, power play. End of power play, as I click that off, it actually tells me, okay, well that tag was 15 seconds long. And you actually started and stopped it. So it just defines the start and stop. Same situation, tagging again, the button is red, and now here's my end of my power play, so now I end that, and that particular tag was 7 seconds long. Okay? So that's basically it. You have the events, you have continuous events and discrete events. And now we'll talk about, well, you want to categorize these events, right? So we have said that we have a couple of different situations here where we want to define very specifically shot outcome and face-off outcome. Okay, so you see on the right side, we have shot outcome and face-off outcome. So now you can be quick at, when you tag your shot, you can actually categorize the outcome while you're tagging, but you don't have to do it right away. So as you're watching a game, you go through and tag things, and then afterwards you say, oh, I'm going to pull up this shot. So I double click on this shot, and I say, well, that particular one is a save. Right? So I click on saved, and as soon as I click on save, the shot outcome comes out saved. Okay? Then I go to my next shot, and I say, this one is a saved one as well too. So I click on save, and then I continue on. So this face-off, this is a face-off. We won this face-off. And the shot was a goal. And this face-off, we lost. And there's no power play, there's no outcomes to power plays that we've defined here, but you might want to set up some outcomes to power plays. So I just want to show you, we've done the tags, which are shot, 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 face-off, so on. And then we have defined these in a very simple way. One, save, miss, goal, face-off outcome, one lost. And we'll get very specific into the goal ball tagging panel that Janice and I worked with. But this is a nice, simple example for understanding what a tag and what a category is of a tag. Okay? Any questions? You guys envisioning how this might be useful for you guys? Like with coaches that work with individual sports, a lot of times this stuff is valuable if you're given a competition video of some sort and saying, here you go, here's a bunch of athletes doing whatever, of a competition, and now you want to break it out to say athlete A, B, C, or D, right? For an athlete doing specific tricks and freestyle skiing, for example, you might want to say, I have this long video that somebody gave me, I tag all the different athletes, not only mine, but the different athletes around the world, and then they're doing specific tricks, and then we can categorize those athletes doing this kind of trick, and then quickly you can pull up a trick of an athlete or something like that. So, makes sense. Speed skating would work similar to Janice. You would have a competition video, and might want to parse that out into specific pieces as well too.
Especially short track.
Yep. Well, short track speed skaters are using it. We've worked with Speed Skating Canada and short track coaches, national coaches. we're learning this tool to take mass quantities of video and look at strategies of competitors, right? Where are they passing? What, inside, outside? And if you amass a bunch of videos, you can even create statistics of saying this athlete usually passes in the 7th lap on the inside. So, let's strategize and let's try and keep them out of that position. So.
Can you still set, when you're doing the continuous event, can you still set it so that when you click, it backs up and starts from 5 seconds before you click?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it's the offset. So if I go back to my edit, so you have the capabilities by default. This one's set up at 0, 0, but you can offset the start and offset the end as well too. So you can go, you just add, you don't do minus, you actually say 10 for the start, and then the end you could offset it by another 10 as well too if you wanted to.
So I could have a camera running non-stop from the bottom of my half-pipe all day and just go watch it fast forward, click it, go back it up and make it jump down.
Yep, you can do that for sure. And we'll talk about as well too, this is analysis of a video that you've already collected. You can tag live in Dartfish. So if you get a video streaming into your computer, you can have the capability to tag live. So as the video is streaming, it actually is putting tags on the timing of that video. So then you can give immediate feedback as well too. So in Dartfish, if you're tagging live, you can go back while the video is still streaming in as well too. You can do review of the video and you go back to specific tags, and then as the video is still streaming in. So.
And you're saying there's...
And then after you've collected the video, you can go back and re-tag in between. You can add more events if you wanted to, right? So you have events. You don't have to do all of it live, because some coaches are like, wow, how am I supposed to do all this stuff live? Well, it's the key important two events that you want to tag, and you want to bring up maybe as immediate review to your athletes. And then once the video is stored on your computer, you can bring it back in and do more tags in between tags, right? So you're just adding things in.
So scenario would be, say I'll just use a half pipe because it's a 45-second run at max, a 30-second run, but I could have my camera rolling and have my computer set up with me to view it. And in case I'm looking at the footage with someone who just came down and someone else drops in, I'm still capturing them even though I'm working on it with so-and-so. But when you said that they're coming out with a Mac version?
Never.
Never? No. Okay.
So
I thought I'd heard that they're making something for next year. But...
No.
Okay.
No, it's not going to happen. The thing that I wanted to show you on the iPad is something called Dartfish Easy Tag.
Yeah.
It's a free app. So you could be collecting a video while you're using your iPad. So the video would be collecting video. You would use your application to do some simple tags, right, as you're watching it. So the iPad has a time clock which you hit start. The video has a clock on it. So once you collect the video, you can then bring the video onto your computer, bring the easy tag, whatever you've done for tagging, and then Dartfish, you can coordinate that based on an event of some sort. So the first thing in your tag, you say, I would like to, you bring the video to that event first of all in Dartfish, and I'll demonstrate this. I hope I brought my iPad with me. Does anybody have their iPad here?
Yeah.
Do you have Easy Tag on there? While we're talking, download Dart from the App Store. It's free, so it's called Dartfish Easy Tag. Put it on there just in case I don't have my iPad, so we can demo that. But then you bring that Dartfish Easy Tag file into your computer, and then you synchronize those, and you have some tags that you've done. So on the iPad side, there's that. Plus, there's another application that was just released a couple weeks ago called Dartfish Note, N-O-T-E. And that is a more sophisticated tagging panel that you can do more with. So there's two ways of doing tagging.
Do they work with the iPhone?
Yes. Okay. And actually, Dartfish Note works with an Android device as well too. So, there's other options other than doing live tagging and having your computer out there as well too. So.
Yeah.
And then for the simplicity, I mean, this works well. This could work well in a situation like goalball. This could work well in a situation with volleyball or basketball or something like that. indoor environment, I mean, you have the capability to have your video camera, your laptop out there and stuff like that. But for other harsher environments, there's things that you guys just can't use in the snow and in the cold weather. So we've tagged some shots, face-offs, power plays, penalty kills, things like that. If we had a list of specific events and we wanted to take a look at these are already tagged. At one level, I can type in shot here. And when I type shot, only the shots come up. I haven't lost the rest of the tags. It's just, I've just typed in shot. If I backspace off of shot, then everything comes up, okay? So if I type in PP, only the PPs come up. So that's one way of filtering. So as now I type in shot, as a coach, I can go to these shots and watch these 6-second duration clips. And I can watch the next one, it'll flip to the next shot. Okay? So we have a way of quickly reviewing the content of this video. And we're able to bring up information and events quickly. And imagine if you had hundreds, if not thousands, of events, and being able to filter through and watching things very quickly is a very simple thing to do. You guys have been probably noticing